Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to teach you how to hit with backspin. First, let's talk about what backspin is. So backspin is basically underspin. The same type of spin that you get on a slice or a drop shot, where the ball is basically rotating in this manner. And you can easily tell how much backspin a ball has simply by looking at how it behaves after the bounce. So you can have a ball with backspin that continues going and then maybe has a second bounce that's very close in proximity to the first one. That can still be done with backspin. Other backspin type of balls will have zero penetration. In other words, they will bounce and then simply stay in place. And balls with an extreme amount of backspin will actually bounce and then come back towards the side they came from. So let's say your opponent hits a ball with backspin. Now the ball bounces and it's coming back towards the net and it's going over the net. You are actually allowed in this instance to reach over the net and play the ball. And the easiest way to apply backspin is to do it with a half volley. Basically, all you have to do is time the ball correctly and keep a stable string bed. So what you're going to do on a half volley is basically position your racket with a slightly open racket face. And I'm going to demonstrate here by just simply setting the racket in the right place and then bouncing the ball into the ground right before the racket. And then once that ball hits my strings, it's going to have backspin. Take a look. See how that ball is bouncing back towards my racket? And that is the easiest way to apply backspin on the ball, and that is to do it with a half volley with a slightly open string bed. If you do a drop shot from the baseline, it would be great if that drop shot has backspin on it. It would greatly increase your chances of winning the point with that particular shot. And here's how you're going to do it. Basically, you're going to have a continental grip on both the forehand drop shot and the backhand drop shot with backspin. And let's start off with the backhand. You're going to take your racket up towards your shoulders. Very important that you start high. And now you're going to swing down towards the ball and you're going to play it a little bit closer to your body. This will increase the feel. And now, once you make contact, you want that string bed to be slightly open. This will increase the chances for the ball to have backspin. And now the very important part is that the racket does not continue going through the ball, and also it doesn't continue going straight down on this side. What you want to do is imagine a wall in front of you and where the racket cannot go forward, and what you're going to do after contact is go across the body and down without going forward. And this will give you the best chances to create a drop shot with backspin. The forehand drop shot generally is more difficult than the backhand drop shot, and you should keep this particular shot at a minimum. But here's how you do a forehand drop shot with backspin. Basically, you start at the shoulder height, and just like the backhand, you're going to hit down on the ball, making contact closer to your body for extra feel. And same as the backhand, you imagine a wall in front of you, and you're not going to go forward, and you're also not going to go down on the same side. You're going to go down across the body like this. And you can take the tip of the racket as the orientation point, and you want that tip to point straight down on the finish. So it looks from the shoulder into the contact with a slightly open racket face, and then across the body with the tip of the racket pointing downward. So the volley drop shot with backspin is going to be very similar to the way you execute it from the baseline. Basically, you're going to be in a continental grip, and on the backhand volley, you're going to start at your shoulder and you're going to hit down. Now again, you want that contact to be made a little bit closer to you. Now what's crucial in the volley that you absorb the ball. Now any pushing forward on the ball will decrease your chances of getting backspin. So what you must do is absorb the ball into your strings. Do not allow the racket to go forward. In some instances, you can even go back with the racket slightly. And then after you've made contact, the tip of the racket is going to go down towards the ground. And this is your best chance of getting that drop shot to bounce on the other side and then come back to your side. Forehand drop shot volley, just like the baseline forehand drop shot, is the more difficult one, and you should keep it at a minimum. But generally, on the volleys, you also want to have a little bit softer grip. So you don't want to hold the racket too tight. And this will make it more difficult to absorb the ball into the strings, and it will make the ball just pop off the strings, decreasing the chances of the ball having backspin. So on the forehand, you're going to start at your shoulder. You're going to come down, making the contact a little bit closer to your body, and then using the tip of the racket as the orientation, make it go down and across. And again, sometimes you might even want to absorb the ball back into your strings. This will increase the chances of the ball having backspin. You can create backspin by hitting through the ball, but this is not something I want you to do on a real incoming ball, because you do have to open the racket face up quite severely for this to work. And what happens on a real incoming ball, you will either send the ball too high or you will send it too far, and it decreases the effectiveness of such a shot. However, just to get the feeling, the sensation of making backspin, you can position yourself close to the net, and this works with either forehand or backhand. And basically you open the racket face up, you hold the racket loosely, and let the ball drop into your string, and you hit forward, you will be able to create backspin. Now let me try that again. I can do a little better job. I can make the ball come back over to my side. And now let me try forehand, same thing. Basically open the racket face and let the ball come back to the other side. Guys, it's very important that you don't fall in love with hitting drop shots. These shots are a lot of fun, especially if you can pull off a shot that comes back to your own side, and it's almost addicting. You want to do it over and over again. But when you're playing a match, keep these type of shots at a minimum. They're very low percentage. They do come in handy from time to time, and it's good to practice these type of shots. It improves your finesse, it improves your feel. But when it comes to playing matches, keep these as a surprise. They will be more effective when you apply them in this way.